already know this, but the Bears created this blueprint. Vic Fangio created this blueprint on how to stop Sean McVay's offense and how to pressure Jared Goff and ruin him. And he threw 4 interceptions in that game. Sean McVay, I don't think there's any surprise that Sean McVay grabbed Brandon Staley, who was on that coaching staff, knows that scheme. Keep in mind, guys, this 6-1 defense, and I just saw Michael Brockers talking about this. This 6-1 defense that was disrupting the Rams and every team started using after the Bears showed to the league how you stop the Rams. The Rams have been practicing against this the whole offseason. Jared Goff has been seeing these looks the whole offseason, and it's been done with Brandon Staley's defense. I do not think by any stretch this is going to stop them anymore. And so Sean McVay, now having that intel, the inside out about this defense, having Staley on staff, the rest of the league should be scared of what he's going to concoct, with O'Connell, the new OC, in-house. Because I think, and I've said this, a few times, but for people that don't know, I think this Rams team has the chance to be the best in the most explosive offense in football this season. Even more explosive than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Damn. But with that, let me just ask you this. I ask everyone this, but I want to know, what's your worst-case scenario? Because you've been really positive this whole interview. What's your worst-case scenario, and who takes the fall for it?
Well, this is funny because the worst-case scenario you would think, based on the way I'm talking about Jared Goff, is that he gets hurt, right? But I'm not convinced if Jared Goff gets hurt that the season's over, because I think John Wolford could operate this offense completely fine. And that's not a knock on Jared Goff. It's more of a testament to what Sean McVay is, as somebody that can prepare for games. On top of that, their talent. And third, I think John Wolford has really done a nice job. Everything I've heard out of camp is that he really wowed coaches. I think coaches were really skeptical initially if he could be the number 2 guy, and they decided not to bring back Blake Bortles, and I thought,
thank God,
they probably will. Well, I thought they might, and they didn't. And the reason they didn't, guys, is because there were 2 guys making some noise in camp. One of them made the roster, the other one's sitting on the practice squad, and he's getting ready for next season to swoop in and take that number 2 spot, and that is Bryce Perkins out of Virginia. People are not talking about him enough. That man, just remember his name, because he has the chance to do something in this league if given an opportunity. But John Wolford, the 5'11" guy that kind of he plays like Flutie a little bit. He kind of reminds me a little bit of an old school, not old school, but like a rookie Tony Romo when he was more mobile.
Out of Wake Forest.
But John Wolford at Wake Forest, I don't know if you guys saw that tape.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's because he was shorter, but I don't know how he went undrafted. I mean, the guy can play, and that was obvious. So I think, hearing that he went up against the number 1 defense, the first-team defense, so they did the first-team offense and the second-team offense versus the number 1 defense, and he scored 2 touchdowns on them. Keep in mind, scrimmage, I get that, but, he was throwing to Van Jefferson and the Simba Webster, and, he ended up really making a name for himself, and he won that backup job, which easily could have been taken over by a Blake Bortles or by really anyone. They could have gone out and gotten any vet, and they decided to run with Wolford. To me, that says a lot, and I trust him. If Goff were to go down, he could take over. So to make a long story short, even though that was pretty long, that is not even the worst-case scenario, guys. The worst-case scenario to me is the Rams losing Aaron Donald, because I think if the Rams lose Aaron Donald to an injury, then I don't think they could recover. The thing that makes Aaron Donald so great, or the thing that makes the defense good or great or elite, is Donald. You take Aaron Donald off that team, they're not getting that interior pressure, they become a pretty just a defense type of defense, right? If you think about it, Michael Brockers, I love the guy, but Michael Brockers isn't, he doesn't move the needle. Aaron Donald is what shatters the dash. He's the one that comes in and he makes everyone around him better just because he's so disruptive. And you see it when he wins his matchup, he'll give another guy a punch to help his teammate out and break through on his own. So, this is somebody that if the Rams were to lose him, I might actually think the season might be over because their defense is so reliant on Aaron Donald's pressure that I don't know if they would be able to handle that. I know they absolutely eviscerated the Colts the only time Aaron Donald didn't play because he sat out for contractual reasons in 2017. It was 44-6, but I just don't like. You wouldn't be able to go through an entire season without Aaron Donald on your team because keep this in mind, guys. You're still paying Aaron Donald all that money. It's like the idea of when they got Goff in 2016. The issue wasn't the fact that they got Goff and he wasn't ready. The issue was the fact that they spent all those picks to trade up to get Goff. So that meant if Goff wasn't ready, you didn't have a first, a second, a third on the field. And so it's kind of the same with Donald. If you pay all that money to Donald and all of a sudden that $20 million's off the field, that hurts. You're out there like, well, we could have gotten this guy or this guy with that money. And you're thinking like, Ashawn Robinson, we don't know when he'll be back or if he'll be back. So, that would put a significant blow to the Rams, despite whatever, people on Twitter want to say about him being average at stopping the run. He's not, spoiler alert. But if he was out, people would realize that he is saying he's average at anything is just totally disgusting to me. But, if he was out there, guys, and you were looking at Sebastian Joseph Day, Morgan Fox, and Michael Brockers, I don't care how good that offense is, that defense not having that pressure, you're applying more pressure on the secondary that I think is very, very good. I think it may be the best secondary in football that no one's talking about. But without Aaron Donald, you don't have that pressure. And the guys on the outside, as much as I like them, I don't love them. They don't have a Dante Fowler. They don't have, a dynamic outside pass rusher. They are guys that are going to have to be complemented by Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is going to have to help them out. When you take Aaron Donald out of the fray, everyone else gets worse around. And that's the thing. I don't want to see how bad this defense would be without Donald. And to me, that is exactly why, that would be the worst case scenario. And the Rams could end up going about, I'd say 7-9, 8-8 without Donald.
All right, Jake. So before we let you go, why don't you go ahead and plug your social channels, let people know where they can find your work and what you got coming up from.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, I appreciate you guys bringing me on. It's always fun to talk with you guys. And, you can find me at JKBogan DTSN. You can find my work at Downtown Sports. Actually, DT Sports Network is Downtown Sports Network. That's my company. You can find, if you like the Rams, you can find at Downtown Rams. Those are on Twitter. We're also on Instagram and we're on Facebook. And we've got some cool stuff planned. I can't really say much about that, but we're getting geared up for the season. We're going to get some interviews and things on that nature. Just had Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce on pretty recently. So, if you're interested in checking those interviews out, you can check those out at the Downtown Rams podcast. Awesome,
man. Well, thank you so much for staying up with us. We know it's late over there. Appreciate you, man. Keep up the great work, and yeah, man, all love.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I if it was 3 a.m., I'd still be on your show. Okay, I love talking ball, and I love you guys. So can't wait until I'm actually out in LA. You guys know I'm moving out there. I hope so. I'll be there soon.
Amen. And we could talk about some Fall Out Boy classics.
And trash in and out. But all right. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. You guys take care.
Peace. It was like, that was for sure our most awkward ending.
I was like, wait, is he gonna hang up?
No, you hang up first.
No, you hang up.
Okay. But yeah, man, shout out to Jake. He's a real one. Fuck with him way back in the day. Like I said, he called to Corey Littleton.
He really did. And Samson too.
Yeah, he did. I called that too. But whatever. You never give me credit for
definitely
that.
called it. You didn't call it.
Okay.
You called the Oklahoma guy.
Isn't that the same one?
No, it's,
my bad.
it's another guy.
My bad.
It's like he has like 12 letters in his name.
For some reason,
I
I always like hit on the Rams. Like I don't hit on any of my mock drafts except for the Rams, like middle rounds.
Yeah, you're right. Which is funny because it's like who they should draft. They actually finally took them this year. The past 2 years, it was like, wait, you have holes on your defensive line. You should probably take a D lineman. No, we're going to take somebody else. But hey.
Yeah, you got Floyd now. Have fun with him.
Well,
he's not bad.
I forgot that Leonard Floyd is there, and like the fact that they called him like another version of Alden Smith is disrespectful.
Ew, no, that's reaching.
I was like, fam, he should have stayed at Georgia.
I heard Alden Smith is tearing up Cowboys camp.
Well, yeah. You got the skill. You got the skill. He's given all-world left tackle fits. Like he was literally just everybody on that offensive line. Alden Smith has been a problem.
All right, so we got a lot of money to talk about.
Whole lot of money. Normally we don't watch pockets over here.
But real quick, DeAndre Hopkins signed a 2-year deal, $54.5 million extension. He negotiated 90% of it himself. In addition to that, his former teammate, former cornerback, Deshaun Watson, also got paid.
Quarterback. You said corner.
Whatever. He also got paid
Pete
a shit ton of
words.
money.
That's another drinking game.
Anyways, and he loves to cut me off. Another drinking game.
Yeah, you're going to be fucked up on the 200th episode.
Watson signed a 4-year, $160 million extension this past week. In addition to that,
$111 million guaranteed. Second highest pay is only behind Patrick Mahomes, who Patrick Mahomes beat him tonight. Because the Texans are horrible.
Yeah. Sounds like they really miss Hopkins already. Looking at it.
Because Randall Cobb and Brandon Cooks are not world beaters.
Yeah, I mean, I started Will Fuller. I'm like, all right, they're going to get that long touchdown. It's like they didn't get it even close to him down there because Will Fuller's not the one, it's...
Yeah, he's a one when you have a one, he's a one.
He's the other one.
Yeah, because it's like, I run a 4-3, 4-2, and I'm a pretty good receiver downfield. Okay, well, what happens when you're the number one guy? Well, I'm going to put Tyrann Mathieu over there, and you ain't going to do shit.
Speaking of DBs, Tre'Davious White, one of the best in the league, he
Raiders
signed
passed on him.
a 4-year, $70 million contract extension, including $55 million guaranteed. Also in the defensive backfield, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Jalen Ramsey broke the bank with 5 years and $105 million, including $71 in guaranteed money. He's now one of the highest paid defensive players ever until, somebody else gets paid pretty soon.
Who would be next after him? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. We got to do some research on that one.
It's kind of too early.
And in former Chiefs news, Kareem Hunt signed a 2-year, $13.5 million extension with the Browns. Which...
Is he going to take over for Chubb, or is it going to be like split?
It's kind of like when you use him as the third down back, but he's not a burner. He wasn't a burner coming out of Toledo. So it's kind of weird. Like, okay, you're going to use him for screen games, but essentially Nick Chubb is a better version of him. Yeah. So you really have the same back twice over. He reminds me of like Chester Taylor. Once you had Adrian Peterson, you don't need Chester Taylor anymore.
Yeah.
And Chester Taylor actually had a really good 1 year for the Vikings.
Any other thoughts on all that money that got dished out this past week?
Hopefully they invest in it and keep it tucked away in case of injury. Shout out to my boy Von Miller.
Yeah, and also Jadeveon Clowney finally signed a deal. He goes